Hi and welcome. In this message we're going to be looking at Matthew 13, especially verses 31 to 33. It is the story of the mustard seed and also of the yeast in the dough. Matthew 13, 31 to 33 says, "The kingdom of heaven is like a mustard seed which a man took and planted in his field. Though it is the smallest of all seeds, yet when it grows it is the largest of garden plants and becomes a tree, so that the birds come and perch in its branches." Jesus often spoke in parables. They were ways of taking across a complex meaning within a story that was easy to hear. It gave the opportunity for the listener to then contemplate and consider the deeper meaning that Jesus was bringing. And that's what I hope to be able to do in this message. He told them still another parable. "The kingdom of heaven is like yeast that a woman took and mixed into about 27 kilos of flour until it worked all through the dough." Jesus wonderfully reinforces the point when he speaks of the small amount of yeast that goes into a large amount of flour and can impact the whole lump of dough. Anyone who makes their own bread will know exactly what I mean. Oh, don't you love the smell of freshly baked bread? I'd like us to especially focus on verses 31 and 32, which is the story of the mustard seed. The tiniest of seeds, Jesus says, and yet flourishes into a large garden plant or a tree that birds can come and perch in. I've thought of some of the mustard seeds that have been in my life, and I'm sure that you can relate to some of these yourselves. Let's take ourselves back to that first significant relationship in our lives. There we were, dating or courting, or however you want to put it, maybe going to the movies or to a dance or meeting in a mall, whatever it was going to be our meeting place. And then the consideration and the realization that this could be something more than just a friendship. And that mustard seed event is the first time that the L word is used. I certainly know in my relationship with Anna, the first time I heard the L word. And it has been said that once you say, "I love you," you can't take it back. And that changed things forever. And I'm so thrilled to say we've been married 37 years now, and the L word is as strong as ever. But that word love was a simple little mustard seed, but it opened a whole world of possibilities. There are lots of mustard seed words in our lives, aren't they? Words like "you are the winner," or "you have passed the exam," or "you have qualified for," or "welcome, it's good to have you here." Little mustard seed events that can change your life significantly and greatly. I became a Christian in the middle 80s, around 1986. And it was in the early 90s that I was on a course with somebody that I had known all the time that I had been a Christian. And during conversation, this lady said, "Oh, and I remember when you said," and then mentioned the words that I had said to her. "Years ago," she said, "and it has changed my life forever." And what caught me was that I do remember that conversation. And the words I used to that person were actually a throwaway comment. And yet it had significant impact on her life. It changed the way that she saw things and the way she thought of things. And the reason I remember that so clearly to this day is very simply that that comment could have been negative. And it checked me in my spirit. It reminded me that we can have throwaway comments that are negative, and they can have a profound impact on people's lives. I don't want to dwell on those in this message, but I do want us to consider just how dangerous this tongue we have can be and the words that we use. I have a wonderful memory of a young man that I was pastoring when I was in a church in Christchurch. And that young man was speaking to me of a time when he was getting on a bus to go to a place in Christchurch where he was going to take his own life. He was so depressed and felt so alienated from all those around him that he could see no point in carrying on. And as he climbed onto that bus, he looked over at an elderly couple that was sitting there. And the lady smiled at him, and the man smiled and nodded. He sat opposite them, and they started a conversation. Obviously, his life changed from that moment on, as he recognized that there were people who did care from a small smile on a bus. So my challenge to us in this message, what mustard seed can you carry that can profoundly change the life of somebody close to you? But even more so to that stranger on a bus. How much different, especially in this time of COVID-19 and the separation that we feel through the fear of this illness. How much more could those small mustard seeds of a smile, a hello, have a good day, how much could they change the society that we live in? What mustard seed do you carry that you could plant in somebody's life? May God bless you and keep you, and His Spirit smile upon you and your household this day and forever. Amen.